Hey, what's going on, you guys? Thanks for joining me again. This week, Ford blew our doors off with the release and the reveal of the 2021 Ford Bronco. Now, I'll say personally, this is the first vehicle reveal and release in terms of adventure travel that has really made me lift my head up and say, hey, what the heck is going on here? Last vehicle to do that was the Jeep Gladiator, but not quite in the same way. In fact, if you look stat by stat, the Ford Bronco is best in class in a number of different categories, if not most categories. This is not sponsored by Ford. We have no affiliation whatsoever, but it's a really impressive vehicle. Now, the reason we're covering this from the overland and adventure travel perspective is this. There are 7 different models of the 2021 Bronco. There are 4 different trim packages and a number of other options that you can choose from based on how you're going to use the vehicle. Now, if you do the simple math on the back of your napkin, that's over 100 different variations of the Bronco that you could potentially buy starting this week. $100 deposit, you can order yours. So what are you going to order? Well, we bring the overland perspective, and that's what we're gonna do today. So we're gonna take a look at that. Now, if this is your first time here, we are Overland Bound, a worldwide community of over 25,000 adventure travelers, vehicle-dependent travelers. We wanna help you get out there, outfit, explore, find that connection with nature, find balance in your life so that you can navigate with a clear head. That's what we're all about. We want you to be prepared. We have a free app for you. It is called Overland Bound 1. If you think adventure travel, having a capable vehicle is in your future, please join the community. We're gonna help you out. We're family friendly and we all started somewhere. Now, let's get right into it. If you guys have seen some of the videos this week, one thing is consistent, and that is reference material. Because there's a dizzying array of options, but we're going to distill it down, and I'm going to try and make this conversation as efficient as possible so that it is not too long-winded, and we'll get right to the end. Now, there are 7 different models of the Ford Bronco depending on how you believe you're going to use the vehicle. They are named after national parks and the base model. So we have the base, the Big Bend, the Black Diamond, the Outer Banks, Badlands, Wild Track, and the first edition. The first edition you cannot get because it is sold out. We're not going to spend a lot of time talking about the first edition. Now, in addition to the 7 different models, there are 4 different trim packages. You have the mid package, the high package, the luxe package, and the Sasquatch package. We are pretty much only interested in the Sasquatch package, and the reason is that is your off-road package that you can add to any of the 7 models, and it comes with a bunch of off-road capable features, including, yes, 35-inch tires on any of the models. We're going to talk a little bit more about that. Before we jump into the models and we start configuring our adventure travel overland vehicle, let's talk about some of the stats of the new Bronco. You can have either a 2.3 liter V6 or the 2.3 liter 4-cylinder or the 2.7 liter V6. The larger engine is 400 foot-pounds of torque. There are 2 different 4-wheel drive modes. You have a hydraulic stabilizer unlock that can be unlocked at low speeds to get better traction on the trail, to keep your tires on the ground. We have available winch-ready bumpers, over 200 aftermarket accessories, full skid plates, rock rails, high travel Bilstein suspension system, doors that come off, and stock mirrors that go on the pillar, not on the door, so that you can take the doors off without having to buy aftermarket mirrors. That's not the case with the Wrangler. We have all convertible, both soft and hard tops. They're all convertible. 5-link Dana 44 rear differential. We have solid axle rear, independent front suspension. GOAT mode, which is go over any terrain. Those are the automatic all-terrain modes for the different models. The Haas high performance off-road stability suspension package, and in terms of stats, best water fording, best ground clearance, best breakover angle, best departure angle, 17% more suspension travel than the Wrangler at 10 inches of full travel on the front, more in the rear. We've got things like the optional 360-degree cam with spotter view, all the different modes, the GOAT modes for the different terrain. We have options like turn assist that break one wheel to spin around that point on the trail. We have trail cruise control, which is cruise control for trail riding. Let your suspension systems do everything. And quite a few others. The Sasquatch package, amazingly, has 17-inch, those are 315 70R17 mud terrain tires, a final drive ratio of 4.7 to 1, high clearance suspension, front and rear lockers. So what's the point of all of this? It is a beast of an off-road capable vehicle. They stayed true to the heritage of the Bronco. The Bronco was one of the first vehicles that was dubbed the SUV. It is the genesis of that term, and it was a highly capable vehicle then, and they've stayed true to that heritage in both the style and the capabilities of the new Bronco. So it is an extremely capable vehicle. Now, how are you going to outfit an overland vehicle? Let me just tell you this. When we talk about an overland vehicle, overland travel is lots of travel on the highway and long distances. So we're not necessarily hyper-focused on trail and rock crawling. If I were going to build a rock crawler from a 2021 Bronco, I would buy the base level Bronco, nothing added, no fancy stuff. Don't give me a bunch of electronics. I would get the base model, and remember, you can add the 35s, the lift, the suspension travel, the front and rear lockers with the Sasquatch trim package. I would get base model with Sasquatch, call her a day. And here's the other thing. I would get the 4-cylinder with the 7-speed manual transmission with a crawl gear. Why the 4-cylinder? Because you can't get the 7-speed manual with the larger engine. You can't. So that's one of the biggest choices you're going to have to make. Do you want the power in the V6, or do you want the manual transmission with that granny gear with the 4-cylinder? That's the biggest deciding point. So if I were going to build a trail crawler, that's it. Get your base model, add the Sasquatch package, hit the trail. Another option, don't even add the Sasquatch package. If you're a person that wants to build out, lift, and outfit your rig on your own, do that. I mentioned Ford has been working to create a broad array of aftermarket parts. So there is going to be aftermarket support for the Ford Bronco, apparently. Time will tell, but over 200 different accessories so far. So if you want to outfit your own rock crawler, base model, no Sasquatch package, build it yourself, hit the trail. That's what I would do. All right, you guys, let's get into the meat of this. The meat of this is going through the 5 models that are relevant to us that we need to decide between. I already talked about the base model package and building a trail crawler, and I already mentioned that the first edition Bronco you can't get because they're sold out. They only made 3,500 of them, so that's not really relevant to us either. That leaves us with 5 models that we can talk about. Now, the 5 models, the Big Bend, Black Diamond, Outer Banks, Badlands, and Wild Track, are for various types of terrain use, and remember, you can roll in some other options as well. Spoiler, our final version is going to roll in some other options, and I'm going to tell you what those are. Okay, so let's start with the first one, and it is the Big Bend. Now, here's the thing, the Big Bend, let's move through it quickly. I'm not going to choose the Big Bend because it doesn't really offer some off-road capable features that are useful to me. It's a trim package. It adds 17-inch aluminum wheels, which are nice, and a leather interior, which is nice, but those don't get me down the trail any better, and I'm just going to scratch it up and use it anyway. So we're going to skip right over the Big Bend, and we're going to go to the first model that is interesting to me, and that is the Black Diamond. Now this is next level off-roading. Let's talk about some of the things that the Black Diamond has. Well, it comes with the front and rear lockers off the factory floor. What? It comes with rock sliders. Here's the thing about the rock sliders. If you read into the fine print, it says that the rock sliders will support the weight of one side of the vehicle. So that brings into question the strength of the rock rails. It's going to be better than steps, but it's probably not going to be as good as the rock rails I have on the 80, which I put the full weight of the vehicle on with force. So time will tell on those rock rails, but Black Diamond does come with them. A couple of other things. You can choose the marine grade vinyl interior. It comes with some other rock modes. It has auxiliary switches, which are encased in rubber on the dash. So that's really good. You guys know you're going to put spotlights on, you're going to put rock lights, you're going to put tail lights, you're going to put all kinds of things in your ham radio, etc. So having those auxiliary switches that are protected from the weather is a great option. And also steel bumpers as opposed to plastic bumpers. They're modular, they're winch ready, and a number of other things, including bash plates, really important. So clearly with the Black Diamond, they expect you to take that vehicle off-road, and it has some capable trail features. So that is the first option that is interesting to me. Now, remember, additionally, with any one of these models, I can add the Sasquatch package, which is going to include those 17-inch Black Diamond aluminum beadlock capable wheels, 35-inch tires, electronic locking front and rear axles. Black Diamond comes with it anyway. A 4.7 final drive ratio. It's going to come with the Dana 44 rear. It's going to come with high clearance suspension, which is position sensitive Bilstein shock absorbers, high clearance fenders. So the Sasquatch package added to the Black Diamond, you're going to have an incredibly capable trail rig. Okay, let's move on. Black Diamond, that's contender. Is that our overland rig, our final build out? Spoiler, no. Okay, Outer Banks. Now, the Outer Banks, I took a note here. It's style and tech front and center. And what that says to me is money out of my wallet for nice to haves and fancy technology that I don't know if it's going to work or not. It probably will. But guys, remember, I'm the guy that won't have an S-Pod or a Switch Pros because it's solid state technology. I'm the guy that built a fuse and relay setup under the hood of his 80. Red flags already. I'm sure it's going to be fine, Land Rover. But I probably don't need this package. And so let's take a look at some of the other things of the Outer Banks package because I did take some notes. I put fancy pants, fancy wheels with less sidewall because they're larger, and there's no manual transmission option with Outer Banks Fancy Pants mode because it comes with the 2.7 liter V6. Okay, so let's move on to Badlands Edition. Now the Badlands Edition, self-subscribed, is for extreme off-roading. If Black Diamond wasn't enough. What basically makes this for extreme off-roading? Well, isn't this interesting? We now have a front stabilizer disconnect. And that is a disconnect that disconnects at lower speeds. So you can you have better suspension travel on the front so that you can keep that tire on the ground. If your tires are up in the air, you're not going anywhere. So that is a stabilizer disconnect from the factory. And it also has automatic 4x4 engagement mode as stock. That now becomes my final contender, or my best contender, because I want sway bar disconnects. Okay. Now the next one is the Wild Track, and that is for high-speed overlanding. So that would be your Baja version. Now they've probably taken a chapter away out of the Ford Raptor handbook. I drove the Ford Raptor down through Baja with BF Goodrich. Our goal was to pop some tires. which we never did. And I drove the Ford Raptor, and it was their Baja mode was extremely aggressive. It kept the engine right in the power band, and that means it didn't matter what speed down the trail you were going, that engine always sounded like, I mean, it is really aggressive. So that's probably what we're talking about here in the Wild Track high-speed off-roading. And it comes with a lot standard, and it includes the Sasquatch package, right? So there are a couple of the models that include it, including the first edition. So it comes with those 35s. That's nice, but we have plastic bumpers for some reason. Probably because it's not a trail rig. It's a high-speed off-roading, and there's no manual transmission option either. So it comes with the V6, and again, it's to put power and speed, and that's probably why. There's not a granny gear in this vehicle. It's for high-speed off-roading. So for me, Corey and I, we do enough trail crawling that I'm going to configure differently. Badlands still wins. All right? So now we've gone through the different models. We know the base model is great starter if you're going to configure it yourself. You know the first edition is not available to you because they're all sold out. The Big Bend, fancy pants, aluminum wheels, doesn't bring me the off-road capability. So when we go through all of this, really what it came down to is between the Black Diamond and the Badlands. So what is the ultimate Overland 2021 Ford Bronco? It is the Badlands Edition. It gives us that front sway bar disconnect. We're going to take the Sasquatch trim package and we're going to add it to the Badlands model. That's going to give us those 35s, and if we look at the whole picture, now we have an overland vehicle. It does have that larger 2.7 liter V6 with a 10-speed transmission. We've got rock rails. We've got the longer suspension travel Bilstein suspension. We have front and rear lockers, a rear Dana 44, independent front suspension. We've got steel bumpers front and back. That front bumper is modular. It will house a winch. We have the vinyl marine grade interior with drain plugs in the floor that we can wash out. We have a hard top so that our goods and our equipment on the inside of the vehicle are safe in a variety of different environments. And we have all kinds of different GOAT modes that are automatic trail modes and automatic terrain modes that are going to configure all those suspension options automatically. And we have a go anywhere machine. There are other things that I haven't listed. As I sit here, I think of the bead lockable 17-inch wheels as well. The list goes on. We have a very capable overland platform. So now here's the thing. If you do go with the Badlands, that's the way I'm leaning, you have to accept the fact that you can't get that 7-speed manual with the granny gear. That's a sacrifice you're going to have to make. But here's why, for me, I'm leaning in that direction. Our amount of time on the trail is limited compared to our amount of time on the road, going up hills, doing all kinds of different things. So I'm okay sacrificing that granny gear and the 7-speed manual to have the higher horsepower 10-speed automatic transmission, and I'm willing to make that sacrifice. Because of the demands of overlanding around a broad spectrum of driving, I'm okay making that choice to have the 10-speed automatic only. I'm going to get a hard top. A lot of folks want that soft top, and that's great if you've got a weekender. But if you're going to use this vehicle for long duration travel in a variety of different environments, including possibly having to park it in a variety of different situations, you're going to want to have that hard top to protect your goods on the inside of that vehicle. Okay, want something cool? Just 1 second. I hope this video was helpful for you guys. Of course, we want you guys to outfit, explore, and get connected with a community that can help you configure your own vehicle, whether it's a Ford Bronco or other vehicle. It doesn't matter what you drive. It does matter where you drive it, and we want you to be prepared. Connect with our community for free. Get Overland Bound 1 on iOS and Android. All you got to do is go over to the store and download it right now. And of course, we would like you to become an Overland Bound member. Join the crew, get over there to our store right now, become a member. We hope to see you on the trail. And until next time, adventure is necessary, outfit and explore.